Everyone, I'm here with Dylan Johns. Dylan used to play for the Exeter Express. He played for Exeter around 12 years, as a first baseman, third baseman, and a pitcher. He is currently 19 years old and loves to play the game. So Dylan, today we're here to talk about the beloved game of baseball in sport and society.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions just to get your opinion on what do you think the game has brought to the sport, the sport itself, and the society. So the first question is, why do you play the game of baseball, Dylan?
Well, at this point, I'm 19 years old. Most people are a little bit further ahead than me. I'm not really looking for any sort of big things to happen with this, but more or less just to try and keep in shape and, meet friends and just have a good time, that kind of stuff.
When you were younger, did you ever seriously think that you were good enough to make the big leagues? Did our society think that, did it make you believe that you were good enough?
Well, I mean, I think that, at any given point, at any age, someone always thinks, I want to be a fighter, I want to, you just think that you're going to make it, and some people just never lose that. But me, I'm not one of those.
You're not one of those? No? That's okay. So as a sport, baseball itself, how do you feel it affects other sports currently?
Other sports, baseball as a whole, I think that it's probably a little bit higher than other sports. Just that might be a little bit of bias, but just the way that players are professionally, especially, it's more of a team thing than an individuality when it comes to football or basketball.
Okay. Very, very good. So you know how the game is being played nowadays. Do you find the sport has gotten super soft compared to the olden days? Such as injuries and stuff?
Well, I think that it's probably gotten a lot, I don't want to say softer, but a lot more player-friendly in that way, where, there's not as many people sliding in, second base, they brought in that whole sliding rule, that kind of thing. Goes with other sports as well, but this one especially.
Why do you think this is? Do they do it because they feel like there are more deaths earlier because of injuries, more not as good baseball players? Why do you think they do this?
Well, I think that people are really just starting to figure out, you're paying these people $7, $8, sometimes more, $15, $30 million to go out on the field. That's an investment. You wouldn't go, investing in something if you just wanted to break.
Very true. How do you feel about the commercialization of the sport and how it affects today's society?
I think that it's good. I think that a lot of players, not so much as in other sports, but, they voice their opinions, really, get people out playing baseball, that kind of stuff. There are players such as Clayton Kershaw, who go put a certain amount of their salary towards baseball diamonds in the LA area, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'd say that's pretty good for society.
Very, very good. Would you, if you were ever in the major leagues, would you do some of that too? Would you help the community?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You always want to, you were there at one point too. Some people just don't have the privileges that other kids have, and everyone should have equal playing ground.
Nice. Do you feel like everyone in this day and age should have an opportunity to play the game, and why?
Yeah, definitely. Even further than the game, off the field, it's those connections that people make between each other. Everyone deserves to make those connections. And, yeah, just, even just for the social part, it's just better for everybody.
Okay, perfect. What does the influence of the media have on the sport? Because I know through other sports you see a lot of, especially basketball, you see recently Kevin Durant going off on media, not being able to, he can voice his opinion, but the media is always hard on him. What do you think the media is like in the baseball world? Because I know it is different, and as well as football with everything that's going on in the States and people kneeling. We did have one baseball player actually kneel during the national anthem. What do you feel like the media has influenced on, and do you feel like the media is coming out 100% true when they say these things about baseball players?
Well, separate from the national anthem, pandemic that's going on right now. Players such as, Bryce Harper, Yasiel Puig, I feel like really through the media is almost trying to hold back the image of baseball, trying to keep them more like the Yankees than like other teams almost. And I would still believe that professional players, have their own rights, or American, Canadian, just citizens of wherever, and that really they should be able to say what they want. They should be able to voice their opinions. Just because they're making money doesn't mean that they aren't, entitled to an opinion.
Okay, perfect. Do you think that the media influences in that, like, if they send out headlines in baseball, do you think the headlines are real or are they fake? What's your opinion on that?
I'd say that probably a lot of them are right.
Right?
Yeah, a lot of them are probably right.
All right. Well, how do you feel the sport has grown in Canada? Growing up as a kid at a small town out of Exeter, playing the game you love. Me, myself, who has also played baseball, love it. I feel like it's grown. But how do you feel personally how it has grown in Canada?
Well, I mean, like, growing up, everybody played baseball, basically. Baseball, hockey's another big one around here. Personally, I didn't play, but baseball, everybody played, and if you didn't play, you were an umpire. That's just how it went. Like, big names for Canada that come to mind is, like, Joey Votto, that kind of thing, He's known as, like, basically the big Canadian in the MLB, and he does so much for Canada as a nation as well when it comes to, like, world events, that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Do you feel like since the Blue Jays made the playoffs, the sport has grown even more? But since they've also, in recent years, haven't done well, do you think the sport's decreased? Because you do see that in other sports, such as the Toronto Raptors. As soon as they got really good, the sport increased. So do you find that when the Jays made the playoffs in 2015 and 2016 that they increased?
Oh, for sure. That shows in ticket sales too, right? They were selling out when it came to the 2016, 2017 season. They were just having a great time. Same with 2015, 2016. It just, and it just goes back to those relationships that are being made. Like, just between even players and the league, like, that helps out when it comes to Canadian relations, Toronto being the only Canadian team.
True, very true. Do you feel that kids that are playing baseball are too pressured by their parents to make it big, and to basically the parents expect something in return for them to go far?
I mean, I grew up in a small town where baseball wasn't as big, but there were still families that, there was always that one or two families that, the dad was the coach and the son was, and they were beaten up pretty bad. But after all, like, they were just pushing them to go further.
Do you feel like, because I know some kids who their parents would pay them $10,000 just to go play on an Ontario team, but was it really Team Ontario? Do you feel like that's the right thing for associations to do?
I feel like it shouldn't be so much of a pay-to-play as much as a skilled thing, right? Like, I don't believe that it's justifiable to ever have to pay $10,000 just to play a game of baseball. Really, when it comes down to it, it's a game just to have fun, and you shouldn't have to pay $10,000. What's different from that baseball compared to other baseball? It's skill. It's just that's the only difference, and skill isn't what's in your pocket; it's what's here.
Yep. Do you have any final thoughts about the game of through baseball and society?
Not overly.
No, that's okay.
I can't think of anything.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We covered a lot today. Thank you guys once again for listening to our interview between Dylan Johns and my name, is Benjamin Davies. If you have any further questions, please ask us. I'll be happy to help, and we'll happy to give our opinion. Anyways, thank you for coming, and have a great day. Bye for now.